What's up, fam? Hey, it's Mike White with Crystal DTF. My friend Derek has got this image, and I'm just going to help, try to work on this. So, first thing I need to do is download it, and it looks like it's really good quality. I mean, that's just my initial take on it. Okay, so it's 1700 pixels wide, so it's really not that great. It's pretty small. Hard to work on an image at that size. Now, we can do this in a couple of different ways. I think the first thing we're going to want to do, though, for sure, is upscale it. So we're just going to use upscale. We're going to grab that image. We're going to go ahead and take it out. We don't need 5x, probably like 4x. Yeah, 4x is where we're going to go. We just want to be big enough to actually, make a good selection. And so now we got that image upscaled. We're going to pop that into Photoshop. Just open her up with Photoshop. All right. And then this is the secret, right, to getting a good clean lift is to go ahead and just select all the artwork. Let's turn my tolerance up. I'm going to turn it up to 100, okay? And we're just going to grab all these whites. So I'm just going to hold shift and select all the letters. So because we're doing this really big, we've got a lot of pixels to be able to select a really clean edge. I mean, we can go way in here and see all the pixels. We're getting a really clean edge because we're doing it really big. We're just going to do Control C, Control Shift V. Now, if we look at this against a black background, or actually we want to look at it against white, sorry. We're going to see what I call fake outlines. So these are fake outlines. They're unintentional outlines. So what's happening is, there was a little tiny black pixel selected all the way along that edge. So here's our text. Let's call it text. And we're just going to we'll double click on the layer, opens up blending options. I just learned this. I don't know how long that's been that way. We're just going to do a color overlay on this and choose white. Okay, so now we've got our whites. So now if you look at this with a white background, you see nothing because we actually have just a pure, perfect, crisp edge, because we did that color overlay. Okay, so now the rest of this, we're going to grab that green. And I'm going to grab this green too. So we'll just get all those pieces. We'll select that original layer, Control C, Control Shift V. We're going to call this green. And we're going to grab that green color from a clean part of it, just like a middle part. And then we're going to do that blending option, color overlay. So we're just seeing that same thing again. Boom, green, okay. Now here's, a messy part where you got this white that's overlapping that green, So let's grab this white. And then what we need to do is we need to kind of select past it so that we can put this in a layer. So I'm just going to grab my marquee tool. Let me get in here real close. And I've just got my marquee tool, rectangular marquee tool. And I'm just going to hold shift. And now I'm off. All right, I'm learning. So I'm going to hold shift. Yep, look, I'm right on it. Come up here and drop this right there. And now it's going to go past that green, and that's just going to make it look better. So now we can just Control C. I'll just put this right up here. We'll just call this white. All right, we'll copy this white overlay. We'll paste that there. And see, if I drug this white up above, you'd see that it's overlapping that green, but we're going to keep it underneath that green. So now to do our final test, we're going to just look at this. I always look at things against black. And then we'll look at this against white. Things could be a little better in here. But I think it's going to be fine. Okay, so there we go. Now before we save this, let's go ahead and trim it. Image trim. And then we'll do image size. And we'll just keep resample off. And we'll set this to 300. Notice that didn't change the dimensions up here because that doesn't actually affect quality. Now we'll turn resample on and we'll set this to 15. That changed the dimensions with resample on. And so now it's shrunk down to 4,500 pixels. So this will print good up until about 15 inches wide. So we're just going to do quick export as PNG. We'll name it something that makes sense. So we'll do all city. I'm struggling with what that said. Wasn't paying attention. Let me turn that back on. All city elevator. All right, so I'll export this. Quick export as PNG. We're going to call this all city elevator. Elevator. And then we want to make sure we tell them, what size this is. That's just a nice thing to do. 4500 px. And it's Mike, ready to print. All right. I hope that helps.